Hello again, y'all, and welcome back to Friends on Film, where two friends sit down and talk about their one thing they love in the world, movies. Today, I'm joined here with Michael Dinan, my good friend. How are you doing today?
Doing well, my man. It is going well today. For context, we are feeling a little tired because we are recording right after the last episode you saw.
Yes.
That's the fun of storytelling and podcasting,
Oh, yeah.
apparently.
Very much.
But yeah, real quick, friends, as always, if you like what you see or if you have thoughts about today's topic in today's video or podcast, depending on how you're listening, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. All right, Ben, with all that out of the way, we are going to get into our 5 most anticipated movies of this year.
This was both really easy and really hard because this year's pretty stacked. I mean, last year we already had quite a bit, but this year, I almost, like I said, I kind of cheated with this list. I found something that was almost last minute. This was quite a list for me, if I'm being honest. I'm interested to hear what you've got. I've got a couple ideas, but let's see where we go. Who wants to start?
I can start us off if you want
Cool,
to.
yeah, let's do that.
All right, so coming in for me at number 5, I am looking forward to Avengers Doomsday.
I almost put that on here. In fact, I almost had another Marvel movie on here, but I decided not to leave Marvel out of this for another franchise, but keep going, yeah.
Right, with Doomsday, the Russo brothers did hit a snag with the Electric State, I won't deny that,
Yeah.
but everything from the trailers they've shown is looking really, really good.
The Thor trailer was amazing.
John,
yeah.
X-Men returning
Yeah.
with the original cast, with meeting the Avengers, that's already so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. coming in as Doom, because apparently for story reasons, there's a reason why. That's intriguing to me. And it makes me excited as a Marvel fan to know that they're kind of risking some stuff as well.
They're risking some stuff also. I'm not trying to say, well, like you said, there was a story reason for Robert Downey Jr. to come back, but they had to write that story for him. So they wanted him back because, well, what he did for Iron Man. But I'm not trying to say it's blatant, but it does feel like almost like not a knee jerk, but desperate reaction or attempt to try and get people back. But at the same time, it is really interesting to see this man coming back, but as a villain.
Mm-hmm. It also got revealed by Chris Evans recently that a lot of this movie, he was surprised to figure out it's practical locations and sets and practical effects.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious. That's something Marvel has not typically done. They've done it before, but it wasn't always constant. That's not a consistent thing.
It's not for the most part.
And especially not for the Avengers films.
So
for them to do this has me very excited. And the trailers, just in the terms of the way it was shot, man, whoever the Russo brothers hired as their cinematographer, it looks so good just from what we've seen. So, yeah, it's my number 5, but this is just my number 5, and I'm already like, I need to see this. It looks so good.
This is going to be Marvel's. This is probably their most important movie since probably the first Avengers, because let's be real, the Marvel universe has been a bit of a iffy state since Endgame. Not to say there hasn't been any good stuff, but it hasn't felt the quote unquote the same since the first 3 phases of this universe. But this will be interesting to see, especially how this all pans out, considering what we had planned originally or what they were potentially going to do with the character Kang until some stuff came out, which we don't need to discuss here. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to me. We on to me, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so for me, I decided to put on The Mandalorian and Grogu for my number 5 because it's been quite a while since we had a Star Wars movie. And a lot of people are still pretty skeptical for the Rey Solo movie, but I'm not going to put too much thought into that because anything could happen. We'll just wait and see. With this movie, there is plenty to be excited for because it is continuing, and I don't believe it's finishing the story with these two.
No, this is just another chapter of The Mandalorian. Yeah,
I did not get the sense that this was going to end anything with these characters at all. I mean, come on, Grogu's only 50. Now, granted, he's going to be still alive when Mando's dead. I hope I didn't spoil anything by telling y'all that, but what I really am excited for is we're getting a Star Wars movie that's also dialing it down in terms of budget from what it looked like, which is good. Star Wars should do that after what happened with the Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi. Just dial it down. I'm not saying make it all practical, but tell a story that's also very personal and just give us an all around cool time. And I know this trailer that we got recently was not voted up very well, but I got pretty low key excited. I mean, we got what I'm assuming is Jabba the Hutt's son running some sort of underground gladiator tournament thing. I mean, come on, how can you not think that's cool? And Mando and Grogu going on their little hijink adventures. Grogu meeting up with what I believe is Babu Frick from Rise of Skywalker. I know, but come on, we can do cool things with the creatures. It's Star Wars. I just want to see Star Wars return to form in the sense that it brings us a cool adventure. It doesn't need to be a groundbreaking story. It doesn't need to expand the Skywalker saga for all we know, or for Lord help us. I just want to see another good Star Wars movie. That's all I'm
I
asking.
think it's gonna be a fun one. It's not my most. This is an honorable mention. It's not my most excited film in May. It's this little film that coming out. The trailer for it looked so good, called The Sheep Detectives. I will talk about that at some other point in some other episode. But that trailer looked good, and I'll agree with you. The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. It was exciting, but I will be honest, I was one of those that was like, I'm not really impressed. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
But not much.
Reasonably
but
so.
I can see where someone would be.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Jumping into my number 4, it's kind of obvious if you watch the last episode that this is going to end up here. Because it's Supergirl.
I've got that somewhere.
I mean, it's the follow-up to my favorite movie of last year. And it's got Craig Gillespie directing it.
Yes.
And apparently a fantastic script by Anna Nogueira.
Yes. And going off of a great story from Woman of Tomorrow, which I only got to read the first few pages of. I can't wait. This movie's on my list. I might as well just put it at number 4 too, because it was number 3. But the more I'm thinking about it, I was like, yeah, I am excited for this movie the same way for Mando and Grogu. I want to see the story expanded with this character, not this character, in this universe. I want to see what this adventure looks like, especially a James Gunn produced, not directed. Get that out of y'all's head.
This is not a James Gunn film. He is producing it. It's a Craig Gillespie film.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. This is like George Lucas with Irvin Kershner. This guy made the movie, and he just came on set to make sure everything was going well, okay? That's what's going on. Now, with all that said, how can we not be excited for a Kryptonian going into space, finding a bunch of other random creatures, Lobo being one of them by Jason Momoa. That's going to be
they've
awesome.
revealed. Momoa revealed a text message. It was once they knew they were going to do Supergirl and they had the script.
Yeah.
It was James Gunn who made sure it was okay with Gillespie to ask, and he just texted Momoa and said "Lobo?" ? And it was an instant. Yes.
I'm so glad they were able to keep Jason Momoa. And look, he had his he had his time as Aquaman, but this feels like the role for him and what little we've seen. He looks great. But the Minecraft movie, as well as Fast X, if you've seen his performances there, those feel like somewhat good enough demo reels to get you an idea of what he could be as Lobo. But just imagine that if he were a bounty hunter and actually vicious.
And speaking of vicious in the action, we know, compared to Superman, who pulls his punches, he holds back, Supergirl does not.
No.
With the life she's lived. So I'm kind of, in a weird, morbid way, excited to see what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Right, as this jaded superhero who doesn't pull her punches.
Well, she, to give audiences a little background, and this is not spoiler for the movie, this is very much the background of Supergirl. She grew up on a chunk of Krypton after it exploded. And on top of that, not only did she grow up in a very, very tough environment that had been destroyed, she also witnessed firsthand a lot of people she ever knew and loved just die, like in the blink of an eye, just like that. And the only person that was left in her family was gone and had aged quicker than she did. She's technically older than Superman, but the reason why she looks younger is because Superman's cells were affected by, I believe it was the yellow sun of the earth that aged him quicker.
Right.
And now we're done nerding out. I can't wait to see Supergirl find herself, because she's also, not only is she going on this existential journey, it's an existential journey that also involves her stripping herself of her powers, ironically, which is interesting.
Right, and she is one of the 4 pillars of the DCU.
With Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman up there, they want to bring her into the spotlight. To be fair, I mean, come on.
And I mean, we're now going to see what's going on in space with the DCU, and this is coming out after Lanterns, which is going to tie into what James Gunn has said is the deeper mystery of what's going on in the DCU.
Yeah.
I still think it's the center. I think we're going to get some center hits in Supergirl. So, yeah, It is my number 4 and your
My number
as
4
well.
too, yeah.
It's a very, very fun sounding movie, and it's going to be really, really cool.
And Millie Alcock, I mean, look, I know you probably won't get to this show too quickly because there's a lot of other shows to watch. All I can tell you is watch some of her highlights from House of the Dragon so you can see just how amazing of an actress this person is. Really, just do
Gotcha.
that, yeah.
What's your number 3? What are you looking forward to?
So number 3 was interesting. This is the one I came across almost at the last minute because it caught me off guard. I was like, wait a minute. Someone's taking a character from a Tarantino movie, but Tarantino's not the one directing it. Obviously, he's writing the script, which is good, but someone else is directing a Tarantino character? Who? David Fincher? What? Wait a minute, what's going on here? We're getting a movie called The Adventures of Cliff Booth, who, for those who may not remember or didn't see the movie, there was a movie directed by Quentin Tarantino, came out back in 2019. It is probably 3.5 hours long because I remember it being pretty long. And it was called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was essentially Tarantino's very, very hyperbolized love letter to late 1960s Hollywood. Tying in the Manson murders as well as a bunch of other trends that were going on at the time. Not trends, other like situational pop cultural things like the fall of spaghetti westerns right as they were beginning to rise, all that good stuff. So I bring this up because there are 2 characters in that movie. One character played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays an actor who is just about on his last bit of luck with his stint in the industry. And then you've got his stunt double, who is Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt. Very awesomely, by the way.
Won an Oscar for it, too.
Yeah, so we're getting a movie based off a character who is a stuntman in another character's movie. I can't wait to see what David Fincher, of all people, does with Quentin Tarantino script. That is... I've seen what Oliver Stone can do with a Quentin Tarantino script when he's coked, mind you. This is David Fincher, who has been able to take the most intriguing and very, very thrilling, albeit dark, mysteries out there and just turn out just the most standout performances, as well as just create an unusual and very riveting experience, almost like Darren Aronofsky to a capacity. But this is more like him this is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be much of a mystery. This is this guy on an adventure. What is that adventure? I don't know. I'm intrigued. Like I said, well, I just told you, David Fincher is directing a movie with a script by Tarantino. All cinephiles out there should have their radar up right now.
Right. I will. Slight correction. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I looked it up, was 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
Okay.
So near that 3 hour length time.
Almost near.
But I can see how it could feel that way. I'll say is that I'm excited for David Fincher. I have some issues with Tarantino right now. After what he said,
I will be honest. I just remember
what he said to Paul Dano and Matthew Lillard. He threw in there
unnecessarily so, just saying they were trash and useless and all that. That wasn't verbatim, but
right. Well, calling Paul Dano the worst actor in SAG is like,
yeah. What are you doing?
And I'm glad the industry called him out on it and said, no, you're not going to talk that way. And then when people figured out, he also said that about Matthew Lillard, saying he was a no presence actor. Essentially, it's like
the fact that you're even talking about him, though,
right? And Matthew Lillard has been the standout in even the worst movies he's been in.
Yeah.
And it's gonna sound weird for me to say, but in Scooby-Doo, and he played Shaggy, he was the standout. He was the one that made everyone go, holy crap.
No, not just everyone, even the executives later in the years when they were making a Scooby-Doo animated series, they called him up and said, do you want to come back and play Shaggy? And he said, yes, I love this character, and he's done a great job doing it.
Right, and I think actually before he passed away, the original voice actor of Shaggy,
Casey Kasem, I believe that was his
Casey
name.
Kasem asked Matthew Lillard to keep playing Shaggy as the voice in voiceover.
Oh, that's so nice.
So Lillard,
he got his blessing.
Right, so Lillard has the blessing all around from everyone. And I don't know why for the Scoop movie, he didn't. It was Will Forte, who I love. I love Will Forte, but Will Forte as Shaggy just felt like he was trying to do what Matthew Lillard has perfected. And also people are like, well, he was a bigger name. I don't know if I think Will Forte and Matthew Lillard are kind of on the same level of stardom.
I think, but to be fair, Matthew Lillard's got, I would argue, is bigger for us because of Scream, Scooby-Doo, and a whole bunch of other things.
Right.
Yeah.
My number 3 going into next year is one that the moment the trailer dropped, I knew we were in for a treat.
Yeah.
And that is Disney Pixar's Hoppers. which is
Oh,
just this simple concept
yes.
of taking an animal body and running around and finding out about the animal kingdom as a whole, and also going to stop the evil corporation that wants to tear down the forest. That is it. But everything from this movie has been so exciting. For me, the coolest part is Daniel Chong is directing this movie.
Yes.
Chong was very involved with Disney and Pixar for years. He was one of their storyboard artists. He did a lot of work. Then he left Disney and Pixar to go work at Cartoon Network, where he created the show We Bare Bears. And he
Yeah,
also
that one.
directed the final film. And We Bare Bears is a comfort show of mine. I love that show
I need
so
to give
much.
it a look. Yeah.
But then to hear he's returning to Pixar to create this fun ride based on his own concept. And there were some things that came out that, like, apparently executives had told him, hey, tone down the environmental message. And he came out and said, no executive has told me that or anything. It's he said Pixar has been great about making sure it's my movie.
Well, Pete Docter, just in general, the man in charge of Pixar, he's like the Spielberg for them. He's like, he allows for creative liberties, but he wants to make sure the story is right first.
Right. Doctor actually, the one thing Doctor said was that when he originally pitched Hoppers, Daniel Chong pitched it as Penguin movies, and Pete Docter said, well, there's been a lot of Penguin animated movies. Do we need another
We already
one?
had a DreamWorks one out there that's got quite a few movies too, so
it was a very fair thing, but everything from this is looking good, and especially after Elio, which I loved but did have a lot of behind the scenes drama. I'm very excited to see this. Also, the first trailer just has this little lizard that just keeps hitting a button that goes lizard, 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 and that's already a meme. If just the trailer can create one, I'm curious what the rest of this movie is going to do.
That's
and
nice.
With the humor of We Bare Bears, I love it. And if that's a similar style and humor they're going with here, I'm very much looking forward to Hoppers.
I remember vaguely in the trailer, one thing that was very thematically consistent was that it wanted to be funny and have fun with itself, and kind of like the Lego movie and Lego Batman, just throw as many jokes and creativity while telling a heartfelt story too. That weaves its way well with the comedy, and that's better than trying to do a story that's, I'm not saying an environmental story that takes itself seriously can't be good. Obviously, there's good ones out there. We've got Avatar, we've got Princess Mononoke, we've got the Sonic the Hedgehog TV series, but those can get tiring. So the fact that we're getting more of a comedic approach to saving the environment, this could be very refreshing.
Also, it's an original Pixar movie, so if you want
to,
in a
year with Toy Story 5, by the way,
right? If you want to support an original film,
there you go.
This is the time. Hoppers is coming out, and it's looking so good.
If you didn't see Elio, which was an original film, then support this one at the very least.
I am happy, though. Elio did get nominated for a lot of Annie Awards alongside K-pop Demon Hunters. I was a little shocked because they didn't get nominated for Best Director, even though they got nominated for a lot more.
That's weird, yeah.
But overall,
or directors, technically.
Right. And overall, I am happy Elio is getting recognized by the industry as, no, this was great, just people missed out. But what is your number 2 of the year?
So number 2, this is an area where I'm starting to cheat. I usually like to have variety, like I say in some of my other videos, or the other videos, not mine. But this was where it got a little hard because I've got 2 epics right here. You might be able to guess the last one, but right here at number 2, I have Dune Messiah.
I'm with you. Dune Part 3 is also my number 2.
We go. I mean, this is the movie that got not this movie, excuse me, it's not out yet, but the first 2 movies, maybe the second one in particular, that was the movie that got the executives with other movies calling up their other directors and producers saying, we just forked over this much money for your movie. That's the same amount of money for Dune Part 2. Why doesn't our movie look any better than this? Why doesn't our movie look like this? Why? So when
some people have tried to make the argument of like, well, they're stars. It's like, okay, even if we factor stars into it and that cost you $50 million,
you still need to make a nice movie.
Yeah, well, and look at what is the stars that were in Dune Part 2, like Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh,
Javier Bardem.
Well, even those are, I consider the legacy actors, like even the big A-listers.
Yeah.
If with $200 million, they were still able to make the movie look like that with some of the people at their prime making it, what's going on?
Yeah, what is going on? But above all, we're getting an epic based off a story that several, maybe let's say back in the 80s and even further, was deemed impossible. Well, now we're on movie 3, and we're already gonna get. I don't even know what the story's gonna do because I didn't read
So
Messiah.
the story, it looks like they're taking from both Dune Messiah and Children of Dune.
Okay,
Which is where we know Paul and Shani had a child.
I know that
And,
much. Yeah.
That child is actually the Messiah of Arrakis. Remember, Paul was said because his mother jumped the gun and produced the male offspring that became the Messiah. But in reality, Paul was never supposed to be.
Oh.
So now the true Messiah, his son, is returning. And Villeneuve changed the ending of Dune Part 2 because originally Chani stays with Paul. But
I remember.
But he remains as.
And they also had a firstborn, and that firstborn is killed by the Harkonnens, I believe. But that's audience doesn't want to see that.
But she gets. But she remains as his concubine.
Yeah, the Princess Aurelian. That's who it was.
Princess Aurelia is his wife, and then Chani was his concubine.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, they've changed that to where she left
doesn't.
him.
She left. Yeah,
Which
that made sense to me.
And I think it's Robert Pattinson's character, either that or he's playing the Harkonnen son that was Austin Butler's character, who we know was being born.
Okay.
So, because that's what the Bene Gesserit were trying to do. They were trying to produce another heir just in case something happened to Paul.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to control the narrative on Arrakis that they were unable to. But now Chani is giving birth to the true Messiah, who has to stand against his father and possibly also
the rest of Arrakis.
Not just the other Arrakis, the Harkonnen child.
Oh, that makes sense.
Was also going to probably be deemed by the Bene Gesserit as the Messiah.
Yes.
So essentially, these are the films I think they're going to do. And Villeneuve, I mean, visual spectacle, creating poignant stories is just his forte. And I'm very excited for this one.
I mean, there's not much more to say. We know the movie's going to look amazing. If the movie looks like, say, I don't know, what's a movie that did not have the best cinema? If this looks like Birdemic, I'm immediately this will be the first time I walk out of the movie theater, like unless it's a troll. It's like it's like they troll us, but yeah. And also my one concern, and it has nothing to do with Dune. Well, kinda. I just hope this movie doesn't tire out Denis Villeneuve too much to where he messes up James Bond.
I don't think he will.
No,
I don't think he would have said yes to James Bond if he didn't know what he was gonna do.
And Denis Villeneuve, just. Not FYI, but just more like, please, for the love of God, just get Jacob Elordi on that role, please. That guy deserves it.
I don't know if I want Elordi as Bond.
Really?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just the door opening.
Okay.
So, do you want to do any honorable mentions before you go
to
your number one?
I will list up. Well, don't you have a number 2? Oh, no, it was Dune Part 2.
It was also Dune Part 3.
We were in sync pretty well. All right, so... some honorable mentions. Look, Sam Raimi's got a movie coming out, Call for Help. Come on, how can I not say no to Sam Raimi? Then we've got another one I can't say no to, Pinocchio Unstrung, which is in post-production, I hear, and I can't wait to see a practical Pinocchio kill. It's going to look awesome. This movie, we are not even, I think we're, 4 months away from the first one? I can't remember the last time a movie came out, and then its sequel came out only months later, and that is 28 Years, The Bone Temple. And then I had to have this movie on here. I mean, you already said Doomsday, so no point in saying that as an honorable mention. So I will say Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Oh, yeah, that's an honorable mention as well.
Oh, yeah.
But, so what will you say is your
So my number one, because it's Nolan, The Odyssey. This is another one where it's like, I know The Odyssey. And at first, I thought he was going to try and do like what he did with Batman, which was bring him down to reality in some capacity and keep the spirit of the Odyssey present in a world that was more quote unquote realistic towards how that would have taken place back in the era. No, Nolan is going very much out of his comfort zone because I saw one trailer. I saw a CG Cyclops stepping out from a cave, a silhouette. I was like, wait a minute. Is he going to go almost kind of sort of full Peter Jackson / David Lowery? Is that what he's doing? Oh man, Nolan, what are you? Oh, and on top of that, it's Nolan. He's also got a stacked cast. It's too much to go off of right now. So all I can say is Matt Damon. Oh, I can't wait to see what you do. And just with the Odyssey and a story like this, you can only imagine how Nolan's going to handle it. And this is a man, not only is a stickler for perfection, but he likes to manipulate time so much. And this is where I'm getting a little concerned, which is we can easily do front and back stories where we see what's happening with Penelope and go back to Odysseus. I don't know if that's what they're going to do necessarily, but it'll be interestingly jarring to try and figure out where we are.
I wonder if he's going to do the structure of the book, because the book is middle, beginning, and end.
Yeah, I remember.
So I wonder if he's going to intentionally do that.
He could, because like I said, he could have done this grounded in reality and start from beginning, middle, and end. But like I said, he likes to mess with time. So only time will tell. And I'm not going to see any more trailers for this because I don't want to. I want to go in completely blind. I don't even want to see any more of the costumes. I just saw Matt Damon wearing wearing Greek armor that had a metallic spine on the back. That's like, isn't that something Del Toro should be doing? It's like, on top of that, it's not accurate to the time period, but do I look like I care?
Right.
Yeah.
My one little asterisk with the Odyssey is that there's not a Greek actor playing a major role in the film. I've heard the argument that this is a myth, so you can do a lot with it. I don't think it's gonna hurt or help the movie.
No.
But I do think it is that little asterisk of that's a little kind of disappointing that not a major role is being played by a Greek actor. But other than that, I agree with you. It's a very exciting film.
Yes.
And I considered it also, it's in my honorable mention as well. Mm-hmm. And yet there was one director coming out with a movie that the second I saw the trailer, I went, yeah, that's my number one.
Ooh.
And that comes to Disclosure Day. Because Steven Spielberg is my favorite director of all time.
Yes.
And he's had a really strong track record over the last few years. Of course, he's had his hiccups like any director. But even his hiccups are like, well, at least it's very well directed.
Yeah.
And here he comes with a UFO movie based on his own story. He wrote this story, and he's got Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt to star, amongst many others. And he got John Williams coming out of retirement.
Oh my god.
And then
Don't kill this man, please.
It's all based around a story he came up with, and he tasked David Koepp to write it. Who is of Jurassic Park and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man fame.
I was about to say, David Koepp is very hit and miss for me. Like, I think he's good at writing a screenplay, but I don't think he needs a second screenwriter when it comes to his dialogue. But keep going, yeah.
Right. I think if Spielberg gave him the story, I think David Koepp was like, okay, I just have to sit down and really do this smartly. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really exciting to me. The trailer for this was magnificent. And we didn't even know the title until the trailer dropped. Yeah. We don't know fully what's going on in the story other than it's aliens trying to make contact in an interesting way to humans. And we don't know if they're for us or against us. Very Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
And First Contact to a varying degree.
But a very global scale. And a lot of this movie itself has been kept close to the chest.
That's good.
I personally just want to keep it that way.
That's okay. Yeah. I think we live in an era now where studios really want to put butts in seats, so they want to show as much of the movie to bring up enough awareness as possible, which fair, and I understand that. You want your movie to make money, but there's also the unfortunate factor that you also risk showing a good chunk of your movie, and thus the audience can piece together what happens.
Right, and that's usually not a bad thing. I like piecing together stuff sometimes, but
yeah,
I also...
Oh, I don't mean like as you're watching the movie. I mean after you've seen the trailer, it's like, wait, so this is going to happen in the movie, and then you go in, it's like, what was the point? Yeah.
Right, sometimes that happens. Sometimes I like to guess what's going to happen as more like, did I get it, or did I not, and why did the director make that choice? That's super cool.
I think we did something similar like that. We did that for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where we saw the trailer, and even though we avoided all trailers moving forward because we didn't want any further hints or indication for who could quote unquote potentially die in that movie. And I loved our results, by the way. I loved our predictions and our results, which I won't spoil for anyone who hasn't seen the movie.
But overall, Spielberg coming up with an original story based on his own love of UFOs and aliens, and
doing Close Encounters of the Third Kind, as well as War of the Worlds. He's got a tightrope. He's got a tightrope he's balancing here. He's like, okay, am I going to do Close Encounters where I keep the intrigue with the reveal, or am I going to do War of the Worlds where I do something on a grand scale?
Mm-hmm. There are several movies this year I'm going to be seeing in IMAX, and like Doom Part 3, Disclosure Day, and Odyssey are going to be up there.
Wait, isn't Dune Part 3 also coming out around the same time as Doomsday?
They're coming out on the same day. And I'm telling you,
Doomsday.
it's Doomsday.
It's
And I'm telling you right now,
Doomsday.
I am more than happy to budget and save money for that time to go see all of them both in the same day.
More than happy to do something like that too. Those are wait, Dune and so we would be at the theater for roughly 7 hours.
Well, it depends on how long Doomsday is going to be.
It's gonna be 3 hours.
I hope it is. I actually really hope it, because I feel like anything shorter is rushing what could be a cool story.
And Dune Part 3 or Dune Messiah. Look, I know was the second Dune 3 hours.
Yeah, the second Doom was 3 hours.
So, just make it 3 hours. All I ask. Some of us need to pee. An intermission. Bring intermissions back for these 3 hour movies.
I feel like if you have an hour and a half or 2 hours between the films, you could easily grab a lunch or dinner and just.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Like it'll be. I totally think we'll be fine in that regard.
Yeah. I just like to have a sip of water as I'm watching something that's either keeping me at the edge of my seat or is boring the living shit out of me.
But other than that, friends, what is it for you? What are the movies you're looking forward to this year? Let us know down in the comments or on Instagram. And we will see you all next time.
Take care, y'all. Bye, and have a good day.
Have a good day.